Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. The Daily Compliance News for January 19, 2022, the Oliver Stone Goes Nuclear edition. And we begin with that story from the New York Times Deal Book as film provocateur Oliver Stone has announced in Davos a new movie which advocates an issue which has been whispered about at Davos for a long time, but rarely said aloud, which is nuclear power can be a force for good. In the movie Nuclear Now, which premiered at the Venice Film Festival, he argues that nuclear has been unfairly maligned by oil companies and others to make the public fearful for its safety. The Davos crowd appeared to listen, and nuclear may be a part of your overall ESG solution going forward. Next from Reuters, the jury in the Musk funding secured trial has been seated, and the plaintiff's lawyer said that Musk lied when he said that phrase, funding was secured, in the opening statements. An attorney for Musk said he merely used the, quote, wrong words, end quote. I don't know about you, but I'm going to use that defense going forward. I'm never going to lie again. I'm just going to use the, quote, wrong words, end quote. The problem for Musk is 2 courts have already found that he lied. So next up from the Wall Street Journal, Risk and Compliance Journal, Mingy Sun reporting, Deutsche Bank has tapped a veteran of Barclays and American Express to be its new chief compliance officer and shuffled other positions as the recidivist German bank works to revamp its compliance program in the wake of several regulatory investigations in the recent years. Laura Padovani will join Deutsche Bank April 1 as Group Chief Compliance Officer. The bank has been continually under money laundering and other investigations, including its business dealings with Jeffrey Epstein and former President Donald Trump. So can Deutsche Bank get its act together? Well, it never has yet, so perhaps we'll be surprised. And finally, from the New York Times, the EU Parliament Qatargate scandal continues to grow as a former lawmaker at the heart of it has reached an agreement with Belgian authorities to trade detailed information in return for a lighter sentence. The lawmaker, an Italian who sat in the parliament from 2004 to 2019, is one of 4 people who are in custody since their arrest. Mr. Panzeri pledged to make substantial, revealing, truthful, and complete statements about the operational details of the corruption network, financing arrangements with third parties, and the identities for all involved. So he's going to name names. I hope he lives long enough to actually see justice served. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.